Hey MGTOWs, this is Vention. I think I've designated this a cheat day on my diet. I was at work today and I was not happy. and the parts department dropped the ball on getting me a cylinder head for my truck. And I was like, just, I was just feeling this like boiling rage. and So I just filled out some paperwork and, well, I didn't quit, if that's what you're worried about, but turned in a sort of a slip for a type of vacation when you're like extremely, when it's short notice. And it took a little arm twisting, but I got off of work today. So it's good because I might have said something I didn't want to, I might have regretted. So I didn't even bother changing out of my coveralls. I just dumped them on the bed. Here's my steel-toed boots. See the little toe covers? Oftentimes, when you earn your living on your back like I do, sometimes you're on your knees, and then the toe of the boot can wear a hole through it, exposing the steel toe, and that's supposed to be some kind of shock hazard. So I put that little those little toe protectors on there. That's pretty cool, actually. But anyway, I was just not happy coming home, but then I just said, screw it. I'm ordering a freaking pizza. Man. So in any case, I came home, and man, it is not going to be long before I'm going to dump that job. I've got enough. Even selling the house alone should be enough because I'm 50. I'll be 54 when I pull the trigger on this thing, and then that's like what 11 years till I'm 65. Shit, I can live on $300,000 for like 11 years with my frugal lifestyle. No problem. I spend $1,400 a month right now. I won't have property tax to deal with. I will have rent because I'm going to sell the house, and I will have to have some kind of medical insurance, at least, emergency medical, and that's the first year. And the second year, I will qualify for Obamacare, or the Obamacare subsidy, I suppose. So, I've been paying into that shit long enough. I might as well collect some of it. So, but anyway, that's just me, right? I was not happy today, and I filled out the paperwork and twisted their arms to let me off work, and now I'm starting my 3-day weekend. It's basically today, and then my normal weekend is tomorrow and the next day. But man, even though I was a little bit irritated today. I was ready to jump into that in-frame and put that bastard together and slap it together and pressurize the cooling system and dump some cool in it and fire it off. It's always pleasant. It's like a sense of accomplishment when you start a truck that's been out of commission for a while and then you bring it back to life. It's satisfying. Maybe I'm spoiled because I was expecting to feel that again. So in any case, the irritation that I felt today is, I must admit that it is nothing compared to what a friend of mine at work must be feeling, because he actually knows about my channel and he will know who I'm talking about. But this is a real object lesson. When you own a house or a condo or something, you are vulnerable as a guy. If you let a woman elbow her way in to the point where she's in your house, and then she gets any kind of bill or anything that proves that she's living with you, man, you are fucked. And this, friend of mine, he's living with this woman who doesn't do shit, isn't useful for anything or anybody at all, and she just basically is just a total waste of human flesh, and she is always angry and bitchy, and and he's giving her freaking food and shelter, and she's still bitchy as can be. And finally, she was like saying, "I'm going back home," and he was saying, "Oh God, thank you," and and then he bought her a plane ticket back to whatever state she was from, and and she basically got to the counter, and she didn't have her ID, and and then she was saying, "Oh man, I must have lost it or something." So, and then obviously she hid it or something, because when they got back to the house, they found it, right, and clearly it was an attempt to just like shit test him, to get him to say, "Oh, please don't go," or some shit. And then when she was at the going, she sabotaged the trip by not having her ID with her, and it was just basically a shit test. And he goes through all this crap and expenses, and he owns the house, and I was telling him, dude, the only way to get that bitch out of your house is just to sell the house and move into a 1-bedroom apartment, and don't move her in with you. because I mean, she can just call the police anytime she wants and just have a restraining order put on him, and then she's in his house and he can't get rid of her. It's just, I told him, dude, you've got to sell the house and just run. And this is such a good example, because some MGTOW are still saying that you don't, as long as you don't get married, you can still live with a woman. But man, I am of the opinion that you cannot live with a woman. My rules for MGTOW, as if that really means anything, is you don't marry, and you don't get a woman pregnant, and you do not move in with and share a house with a woman, because all three of those situations place the woman at a profound advantage over you, and puts you into a position of powerlessness and vulnerability. So yeah, I do not recommend it. And I would almost go as far as to say that you're not a true MGTOW, quotes, if you live with a woman in a house that you own. Now, if you're in an apartment or something, that is not much of an investment. So conceivably, I might let that one pass. But living in a house that you actually own, it's just like your balls are on the chopping block, dude. If she could cost you a couple $100,000 just if she was having a bad day. So yeah, I highly recommend do not live with a woman, especially if you own the friggin' house. So, as far as other news goes, man, I just gotta say, I feel sorry for that guy a lot. I did get him into Bitcoins kind of partially, and if you know who you are, buy more Bitcoins and hide that fucking paper wallet from that girl. I won't even call her your girlfriend. Just hide that fucking thing. Don't allow her to even see it. But in any case, and I will help you move those Bitcoins to another paper wallet, just in case she took a photocopy of it or something. So, and you know who you are. So, yeah, I highly recommend do not live with a woman. Jesus Christ, what a position to be in. So, my plans in the future are like progressing well. I'm gonna buy that camper. I'm actually gonna do it just as soon as I can set foot in it and really take a look at it. I think I'm gonna buy it. It'll cost me about 36,000, and I'll be able to finance the shit out of it for like quite a few years. So I'll have low payments on it, but basically, and I'll have the minimum of expenses, and then that way that'll give bitcoins a chance to really ramp up in value before I start really drawing from them. But technically, I don't even need the bitcoins. I could just live on what I sell the house for until Social Security and 2 pensions start. But I'm of the opinion that bitcoins are going to go dramatically higher, and I'm going to be quite wealthy, actually. So I'm going to buy that camper. I'm going to move it into the backyard. Then I'm going to move into that fucker. And then I'm going to live there a month. And if I feel that it's comfortable enough and I'm okay with living there, then I'll start dismantling the house. And basically, I'll have everything out of here by spring, or before spring's over. That's for sure. And I'd like to rent a house down by the Columbia River on southern Washington somewhere. There's a lot of smaller towns where you can get a rental house really cheap. And I want it secluded enough so that I can park my camper and still live in it, and the neighbors won't see or call the police or anything. So that's my plan. And then I'm going to travel all over the place as a wandering mechanic for permaculture communities and maybe small organic farms, and really see how food is raised and gain more understanding of permaculture. And I will use my mechanical abilities to make myself welcome wherever I go. So that's my plan, and I'm pretty excited, a little bit scared, but I'm going to progress into this, and hopefully within about a week or so I'll have my camper, and then I'll make a video of it. And man, it's a thing of beauty. The Arctic Fox 865, I think it is, no slide out. It doesn't have slide outs because my truck is only a 3/4 ton, so it really wouldn't carry a slide out camper well, and fewer moving parts to break, and it looks like it'll be really comfortable to live in. So, and it's you can just drive anywhere and park practically anywhere, and you're golden. I could like go from one site where I'm working to, and then hit camp overnight at Walmart's as I go, and apparently they're welcome to that. I mean, you're welcome to do that, supposedly. And so yeah, good times. Can't wait to. I'm at the point. Maybe this is a midlife crisis or something, but I'm at the point where I'm ready to reinvent myself and start a different and new and more interesting life. And that's about it, MGTOWs, and I will see you around, and don't get married.